The Government of India has issued a clear and firm clarification amid growing global speculation over shipping routes and rising tensions in West Asia. New Delhi has stated that India has held no discussions with Iran regarding any proposal to charge tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz.
We welcome the ceasefire reached and hope that it will lead to a lasting peace in West Asia. As we have continuously advocated earlier, de-escalation, dialogue and diplomacy are essential to bring an early end to the ongoing conflict. The conflict has already caused immense suffering to people and disrupted global energy supply and trade networks. We expect that unimpeded freedom of navigation and global flow of commerce would prevail through the Strait of Hormuz. In addition, I would also like to add, India has always been in favor of peace. We welcome all steps that lead to peace and stability. We hope that this development in West Asia will also encourage peace efforts in Ukraine.
This clarification came from Randhir Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, who addressed the issue during an official media briefing. He categorically said, and I quote, "There has been no such discussion with Iran." This statement comes at a time when reports from international media suggested that Iran could be considering a plan to impose transit fees or toll charges on vessels using the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical maritime routes in the world.
Ensuring the safety, security and welfare of the large Indian community in the region, in the West Asian region, remains our highest priority. To support Indian nationals and their families, a special control room has been set up in MEA, which functions continuously. We continue to be in regular touch with state governments and union territories and liaise on issues and coordinate on issues as and when required. Our missions and posts also are working continuously through the round-the-clock helplines, and they remain actively engaged with community organizations, businesses in the Gulf region, people who may need any support, and are providing them as and when required. Now,
why is this important? Because the Strait of Hormuz is not just any shipping lane. It is a global lifeline. Nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow stretch of water every single day. For countries like India, which rely heavily on imported crude oil, any disruption or additional cost in this route can have a direct impact on fuel prices, inflation, and the overall economy. So naturally, when reports emerged that Iran might start charging ships for passage, it triggered serious concerns worldwide. There were also claims that ships might require special permissions or payments to ensure safe transit through the region, especially in light of the ongoing geopolitical tensions. However, India's position is now absolutely clear. There is no agreement, no negotiation, and no discussion between India and Iran on any such toll mechanism. Instead, the government has emphasized that its engagement with countries in the region is focused purely on ensuring the safety and security of Indian vessels and seafarers. In fact, Indian authorities have been closely monitoring the situation in the Gulf, especially as tensions involving Iran, the United States, and other regional players continue to evolve. Despite the uncertainty, officials have confirmed that Indian ships have been safely navigating the strait, and there has been no disruption in movement so far. But the larger concern remains. If any country were to impose tolls or restrictions on such a crucial international waterway, it could set a major precedent and potentially violate international maritime norms. More importantly, it could lead to increased shipping costs, higher insurance premiums, and eventually a spike in global oil prices. For India, this is particularly sensitive. The country imports over 80% of its crude oil requirements, and a significant portion of that supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Any additional financial burden, whether in the form of tolls or security costs, would ultimately be felt by the common consumer back home. This is why India is treading carefully. While maintaining diplomatic engagement with all sides, New Delhi is also ensuring that its strategic and economic interests remain protected. At the same time, global powers are watching the situation very closely. Because what happens in the Strait of Hormuz doesn't just affect one region. It impacts energy markets, trade routes, and economies across the world. To sum it up, India has made its stand very clear. No talks with Iran on Hormuz tolls. Focus remains on safe passage, stability, and uninterrupted trade. But as tensions continue to simmer in the region, this story is far from over. And any escalation or any new policy decision could have far-reaching consequences for the global economy.